Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I'm an astrologer who helps entrepreneurs see the natural progression of their life by showing them where they've been and where they're headed. And this enables them to make timely business decisions that align with their values and their situation. Welcome to the June 19th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about why you might be feeling stuck physically while your mind is racing ahead. Everyone is going to need a little grace for a while. Listen to our conversation now so you'll know what to do day by day. And I'll see you on the other side. So I didn't print out my notes today, so I'm winging it. And wow, uh, is anyone feeling like this huge stretch and like I feel so sluggish. Like like I can sit at my computer and like have all these ideas of this is what I need to be doing and like all these things that I know that there's stuff beyond that. And then I sit here at my computer and the whole like getting it done and moving it and it's a slog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is what I'm hearing from so many people. I had thought that Monday would be this amazing
Hey, where's
day.
his leash? Hi, come on in. Greta, his collar. Okay.
Let me see if I can mute her. There we go. And what is happening is I'm gonna bring up the slides. Is that here we are today, and what you can see is Mars is way back here in the red, and look at this huge space between the sun, our doing, Venus, our appreciating, and Mercury, our thinking, like this huge gap. And if you can remember way back to like February, uh, February or so, like they were all clumped together. And that time was so intense. There was a lot going on. Like everything you were doing was related to very specific, all the same thing. And then, and this happens all the time, and I'm not sure why it surprises me, but it always kind of catches me off guard as this gap gets bigger and bigger, and it will get even bigger. Um, it gets to be this huge stretch. It's like, come on, body, keep it going, keep it going. And what we're encountering is this huge resistance with our bodies. And my philosophy is at this point, and I'm going to see if it works. You're going to have to let me know if it works for you, is to not make huge promises to myself, but just say, I'm going to do one little thing to keep moving because maintaining momentum is so much easier than trying to get going from a standstill. I don't know how many of you ride a bike, but the getting going, men, I know you ride a bike, is so you're the most unsteady and the most unable to like um, keep it moving smoothly. But once you're in motion, you can coast, hopefully, if you're on a nice flat surface and it's not so much of a struggle. But we're going to start to feel this a little bit more over time because Mars will be retrograding over here in Cancer and Leo opposite this Pluto portal. And this is going to be such a huge stretch. And in the meantime, every one of these is start moving around the other side. And that will be this pull of um, our not feeling caught up, not feeling completely integrated. And it won't really be until everything rolls around to the other side and starts closing that gap when the sun, Venus, and Mercury kind of get to the other side of this and start catching up to Mars. And we feel like, oh, okay, we're getting there, getting there. So I hope that helps you get some perspective on it. We'll be definitely talking more about what this Mars opposite Pluto portal is going to be like. This huge stretch that will be reminiscent of two other times, in particular, 1938 and then 2008 to 9. So neither of those times were great times in the world, where this Pluto energy is trying to get you to do something, but in order to like live your day-to-day stuff, like it's a struggle, and we're trying to turn that corner. So that is coming. But in the meantime, this gap is what we're starting to feel more and more. So that's kind of where we're at right now. And still in the midst of all of this, I still believe that there is hope. There is growth in our awareness coming as Jupiter is starting to approach its portal at 11 degrees of Gemini. So let's just, any questions? Does that resonate with people? You can give me a thumbs up if you don't want to show yourself, or just shake your head. Yes. Okay. Excellent. All right. You're prepared, and I'm definitely here to help you like feel into this and find a way through. We'll all be figuring out together. Okay. So let's keep going. It's actually not a crowded time. So if it's more like head down and keep going for a little while. And as you can see, everything is, here's the solstice. The first thing that comes up is, oh, wow, it's a while. On the 25th of June, so in a little less than a week, Mercury enters the Mars portal at 17 degrees of Cancer. So that Mars portal goes from 17 degrees of Cancer to, I think it's 4 degrees of Leo. It's huge. It's 17 degrees. And when Mercury comes into that in less than a week, you will be, so Mercury is about our thinking, our reflecting, using our minds and processing, but Cancer is tapping into our intuition. So you will get a lot of intuitive hits, or have ideas just come into your head. You may be in the midst of a conversation and something will come up that is beyond logic. And somewhere in there, there is something to listen to. And so that will be for a period of time that Mercury is ticking through this. But that is kind of time to start taking notes, because it's hinting about what Mars will be having you put your heart into starting in October. On the 29th, Saturn stations retrograde at 19.5 degrees of Pisces. This has been kind of coming up for me, that I don't feel like I have space for a lot of people right now. Like I can only handle a few things and a few different energies at a time in my life. And if this is happening for you, this may be partially why this is happening, is Saturn makes us focus and condense and get some structure, and there just isn't a lot of room. And so until Saturn gets here on the 29th, it may feel like you have just less and less space for anyone else than either yourself and the people you kind of interacting with, day to day. And then as it starts moving backward, it will give space for people to start coming back in. And that is just in time for these people to, Krista, I was just saying, if you're feeling like you can't handle too many people in your life right now, and like it's getting worse and worse, you just don't have space for it, it's because Saturn is stationing retrograde on the 29th. and it condenses, your ability to like feel people around you. So little grace for yourself, for others. If you feel like, oh, someone's ignoring me, okay, they might actually have to be doing that because they've got their own thing going on. And after the 29th, it will ease. And it will ease into October and create space for more people to come in. And this is great timing because when we start learning something, when we start opening our awareness, when Jupiter moves into its portal, more people will come into our lives. And that will start creating space for them. On the 30th, Mars leaves the last year's Jupiter portal. So last year's Jupiter portal was about expanding your presence, your tools, your resources, your body, learning about your body. And Mars will finish moving through that. Hopefully you're filling gaps that you did not take care of over the last couple months. And uh, it will start to, of course, tick forward to cross over Uranus in about early to mid-July. And that will be this push for the change that you recognized about a month ago. And now it will sort of be this, I got to get over the hump. And Venus will enter the Mars portal on the same day, again, giving you this awareness of things coming in that you might have to take a stand for, might defend, might encounter resistance when it comes to your intuition. But it's as we get closer and start seeing what those things are, would love for you to bring them back to the discussion and we can see what comes up for everyone. On the 2nd, we'll start with this one, Neptune stations retrograde. So this energy of Neptune is this effortless ability to do whatever, but Pisces in particular, the do whatever is feeling the people around you. And if you're kind of a tender heart like me, then you're really sensitive to all the energies. And we're taking us right up to the very edge. It is 29 degrees, 55, 56 minutes of Pisces. So not tipping over into Aries, that will happen next year, but it is feeling your humanity, feeling deeply what everyone is going through, but also as you go through your own thing, other people feeling it as well. So it's company for us on our very human journey and our being company for other people. And it will start to ease after this. This makes me hopeful for the world that things can start to shift and we won't feel this intensity. It will come back next year, but I'm hoping that we will see things in the bigger world that will relieve the pressure here. At the same time, Mercury is opposite Pluto, and Mercury will be in Leo. So it is thinking about what you have to offer, and hopefully someone's receiving it. And it is this huge stretch, this opposition, because remember, this whole effort this year is about taking your structures and getting yourself to the next level, seeing what's wrong, seeing what doesn't work anymore, seeing what's frankly going away because it just isn't part of your life, and taking yourself to the next level. And at the same time, you're thinking about, well, but I'm so good at this. I am so wonderful at this. And the journey to come back around is about, okay, you are great at something. And what are you going to do with that? How are you going to expand it, work on it, keep evolving it to come back around to be that new person? And here's the exact opposition, actually. And that is the day we meet again. So let's back it up. So in some ways, not a lot going on. And in many ways, turning a corner. So if you think about the marathon we've been on since January, it is like hitting that halfway point. And and the halfway point lasts about a month. And getting to turn that corner and knowing you have a journey ahead of you, but that is, quote, I'll say downhill from here. Okay, let's take a look. So just notice, remember that the sun, Venus, and Mercury were kind of all clumped together, but now Mercury is like racing ahead. So that's your mind getting further and further ahead. And the ability to catch up where the sun and Mercury come together don't happen until mid-August. So grace for yourself as you recognize, you know what, I can't keep up. And you know what? The other people around you can't keep up either. So it's like, okay, I get it. I get it. I'll be a little more patient with people when I've told them a million times. And because I have all these ideas, I'm like, honey, can you? Nope. Nope. There's no follow up there. So mid-August is our goal. Okay, so this goes back to this steady pace in using your body. I enrolled in a coaching program, another one, where I'm being asked to do something that, frankly, I'm feeling a ton of resistance, and I'm just going to make a commitment to doing a small thing every day because I know it's good for me. I want to be coachable, and I'm going to do it. And when you build up that momentum, if I do it for a month, it will be easier. And I'll encourage you to think about what is that one thing that you need to stay in motion. Just needs to be a small, small thing. Does not need to be huge. And starting in a week or so, we'll start to feel this stretch and maybe this awareness of like, here I am now. And I was on such a tear during the first 4 months of the year. I was like, so much was happening, was getting so much done. Yes, a lot was being thrown at me and I was on fire. And now, like this huge stretch, things are slowing down. I'm not able to keep up. And this will be some patience, but we're in this integration time period right now of integrating all that happened during the first 4 months. And we need the rest of the year to integrate and then dig in again to keep getting ourselves to that next level. I hope that resonates for all of you. So again, just this reminder that Mars is back here going through last year's Jupiter portal. So how are you putting your heart into working on those tools, that presence you developed? Are you feeling that resistance rather than the excitement? And I think if Mars were in front of everyone else, we would feel it more as excitement, like this, like I'm pushing ahead and I'm just going to make myself come along. But now it's more like trying to keep up. Then from the 24th to July 5th, Mercury here will be going through this Mars portal, which is opposite this Pluto portal. So it is about listening to your gut because there are hints of what will be dedicated to putting our heart into for 7 months, starting in October. And just listening to that and making notes of that can be very helpful. They just so you don't forget, because I always forget. Then on the 29th, Saturn stations retrograde, just recognizing who is on your dream team. You kind of already picked them out, but just you'll get to lean into them for a little bit. They're there to support your growth. They may be the only ones you really want to hang out with or can only hang out with for a little while. And if you kind of drop out from hanging out with other people, just say, I love you and I care about this connection that we have. But right now, I'm going to need about a month before I can start coming back out to like hang out. And that is okay. Then from June 30th, pardon me, to July 16th, perfect timing, Venus is moving through this Mars portal. So this gap is being created between Mercury and Venus, but it is that validation. So think about how back in April, we were doing things to test out our ideas and our feedback came later. It's kind of the same thing. You get these ideas and you'll get the validation a little bit later. So just kind of wait for that. If you pose something like, I say something to someone, hey, what about, say, you don't have to tell me right now. Whenever you think about it, just let me know what you think. And that will be your validation. And what's so cool is Venus finishes moving through this Mars portal on July 16th, which is the day the Mercury portal opens. So it's great, wonderful timing. Then on July 2nd, Neptune will station retrograde. And just what have you learned so far this year about connection to your humanity? Who has been there to support you? Who have you been supporting? And space to let others in will start to happen between now and I think it's late October, early November. And then finally, this stretch that we're going to feel as Mercury is opposite that Pluto portal for 2 days and exactly opposite Pluto on July 3rd. What do you recognize that you have to offer? And what is like your 6-month journey, frankly, of, and maybe a little longer, of like taking what you're so good at, what you have to offer, and working on it, testing it, expanding it to help you level up your life. So I hope that makes sense. Life isn't linear, unfortunately, or maybe that's a good thing. Oh, should have deleted that slide. Okay. Tips for thriving. So if you're feeling sluggish, surrounding yourself with that small group of people who can help you commit to those tools, showing up, using your skills and maintaining momentum. They get you. You don't have to explain yourself. That's why they're part of your dream team. And they will help you keep that momentum. And just remembering that we're in this integration phase until October. And this gap that we're getting to feel, like it will be more intense in about 2 weeks of like, I'm here and it feels like a long journey to get myself to the next level, to get rid of the structures don't work and find the things that are going to work better for me in the long term. We will begin to close that gap when the Jupiter portal opens and we start learning new things. That is how we will make it through. And that will be our summer camp. So one last thing. If you are ready to take this astrology and use it actively to flow more easily in your life, this is really for the people on the replay, comment ready to learn how, and I will get back to you. But any questions? Any thoughts on this? Does this reassure you, make you tired?
Definitely makes me tired, and as you're kind of pointing out, we're already there. I'm feeling tired. Yeah.
Well, you kind of now knowing I've seen these studies where people who run marathons, when they know that a certain point of the race is hard, they make it through more easily than if they didn't know that that was going to happen. And I've been thinking through examples of that. If you're on an airplane and the pilot says, we're going to hit turbulence in a little bit, please put on your seatbelts, then it's not such a shock when it hits. When I think about those people who were on that flight, I think it was in Asia, where they hit the turbulence and like people were literally injured because they had no awareness ahead of time. They would have been prepared and maybe not have had this huge shock to their bodies if they had known, if the pilot had known. But it is kind of that, okay, how am I going to take care of myself? I'm not going to push real hard. I'm going to stop beating myself up. And if that helps you sleep at night better, then that's a win. That this is normal. You're normal. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just
It's
that.
a great analogy. I have felt that like when you know something's going to be tough, it's better than being taken off guard by thinking that something's smooth sailing.
All right. Any questions? No. Okay. All right, you guys. The recording actually will not be out for maybe a couple days. My assistant, John Ray, got married yesterday, and I gave him the week off so that he could enjoy being a new husband. I think that's so important, and I just, so happy for him. He's a sweetie. So, all right, hang in there. I'm always here if you need me. We got this. Bye.
Thank you.
I hope you feel prepared to move easily through these next 2 weeks. It's okay to keep a pretty small crowd around you for the next month. The people who don't require any explanation and are just on the same page with you immediately are your dream team. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.